Hello everyone, my name is DeathTech and welcome back to Evochron, where we are doing a tutorial. Today we are doing the Weapons Lab, which is really cool for one of these types of games. What this Weapons Lab allows you to do is build your own custom weapons. And you can modify them however you want. So, let's get started here. I'll just explain kind of what these windows do and how they operate. So, let's start here. First, you can select the weapon type, which will either be a particle cannon, a beam cannon, or a missile. Other than that, there aren't really any types. They have a subtype, which is the class. You can have plasma particles, metal projectiles, rail cannons, fusion cannons, plasma particles. We already went over that. And for the different types, you of course have different things, which is a refractor laser, metal vapor laser, coil laser, neodymium laser, and a fusion laser. And for missiles, we have of course the usual impact, reactive, fragmentation, shape charge, compound cores. Those are all, they all do different things. I'm not going to explain that to you. If you know anything about ballistics, you should know exactly what any of those do. And if you don't, feel free to look it up, what they do. And if you don't really want to, well, just ask around. I'm sure somebody will have a guide up. And if not, I'll create a guide later. So let's create, I'm a big fan of missiles. So let's start off with a missile here. We'll just do a simple impact missile. Alright, so what do we have here? First of all, we have the icon that the missile will look like, and the required materials to build said missile. You have the cargo bay, which shows you what you have in your cargo bay, and hangar contents. Again, I said in the previous video, hangar contents are useful in certain ways, and this is one of them. You can store lots of different materials, like stacks of 25 electrical units, metal units, and machinery units, and stack them in the hangar so you can build lots of missiles quickly, which is very handy. So that's useful. Then over here we have a couple of sliders. Now what these sliders do is they change stuff down here directly. Down here is the weapon performance, what the weapon will do, and how much it'll cost to produce said weapon, as well as an ability to store a template and retrieve a template, which is really cool, yo. Alright, so let's customize this missile a little bit. I want it to be fast. Oh, but hey, if I make it too fast, then well, it changes a couple things. Particularly the yield goes down a bit. But the agility and speed, though. But we want it to be a little bit more powerful. But that kills the speed! But we need a good guidance system. But we can't really have a good guidance system because, oh, well, reasons. You can see these sliders change all of the variables a lot. The casting and armor will decrease the yield, but increase the resistance against countermeasures. Okay, so what I like to do is kind of level things out a bit. We want to change the guidance system to be, let's say 85. I'm going to try and keep these similar. There we go. I think that is a pretty happy missile for my taste, but I want to try and aim for... Okay, never mind. I was misreading. Okay, so I'll be happy with this setup for now. I'm not going to obviously produce this missile or test it out because I don't have the materials, as you know. But you can kind of customize and min-max your missile or whatever weapon you're trying to build. And you can kind of see here the yield, again, how much damage it does, agility/speed, how maneuverable and fast it is, the range, how far it will go before it basically self-destructs, and the countermeasure resistance, which is how much chance, I guess, there is that it'll go for the countermeasure instead. That it will not go for the countermeasure instead of the target you launched it at. So 54 is a pretty good rate there. I quite like that. So, okay, then you can construct or modify / install it by clicking here. Now, of course, I don't have the materials, so it's just not going to do anything for me. But you can also save the template by clicking here. Well, by clicking here to save the design, and then you can always pull it up by clicking that missile again. So, there's that. That's the weapon lab. But I'm going to switch out here for a particle weapon just to show you guys the other stuff that you can have here, which is the yield, heat, energy, range, and rate. Like this, for example, is a particle cannon, so of course, the more heat it emits, the more chance of, I guess, overheating, and the easier it'll be to target you instead of a countermeasure. Energy, how much energy it consumes per shot. Yield is its happy self, how much damage. The range, how far it will shoot before the particle basically loses effectiveness, or just basically despawns. And the rate is how quickly it fires. Now, 400 rounds per minute is nice. Nice. That's all I can say is nice. It's some good shit. And then for the beam weapons, we have yield, heat, and energy. Now, of course, beam weapons pretty much use energy exclusively, so the heat is going to be much more of a big deal. Of course, if I put the emitter on holy shit levels, then the heat will also be on holy shit levels. So we have to keep the capacitor low, but then, you know, you see the heat really easily spikes out of control on this thing. But of course, the higher heat sinks, the less it does. You can see here, like that only changes that. I don't know why you wouldn't have the heat sinks to the max, but of course that costs more heat sinks, I believe, to build then. So yeah, you can kind of create your own weapons, and I think that is a pretty damn sweet thing. Alright. That was a lot of talking. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Please comment, rate, and subscribe if you feel like it. If you feel anything is missing from this tutorial, please let me know, and I will see if I can get it out there for you. If I forgot anything, please let me know in the comments below, and I will add it as an annotation or modify my tutorial if I have to. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye for now.